Anyways, hey everyone, REUPLOAD here, and welcome back to Monika After Story. So, it is almost 1:30 in the morning. Technically, this would be June 27th. So I'm early again by technically 3 days. And this is also, I think, the latest I've ever recorded the series. And yep, I'm here. I'm a man of my word. IRL, I never make promises I can't keep. Wow. You really are special, you know that, right? I've missed you so much. Tell me everything you did while away. I want to hear all about it. Remind me if you're going away again, okay? You got it. Oh wait, I just realized I didn't come bearing gifts. Oops. Well then. I guess I can just go ahead and see if she says anything different. Either that, or I can try and have her read me a story. Or she can sing for us. See, what if we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine. Nothing could keep us apart. You'd be the one I was meant to find. It's up to you. And it's up to me. No one could say we gotta be, or we get to be. So why don't we rewrite the stars? Maybe the world could be ours. Tonight. The world really feels like it's ours when I'm with you, Daniel. I love you so much. You know, I think on the subreddit for this, someone actually recommended a feature to let you head pat her. That way it's like, I'm not head patting her in my mind. Have you ever been scammed, Daniel? You bet I have. I hope you'd never go through something like that. But if you have, I wouldn't be that shocked. It's not that uncommon after all. Yeah. My mom actually got scammed pretty badly. It's something that's more and more prevalent nowadays, especially online. Yes, especially with stupid people sending you emails disguised. Oh god. It's just, disguised as other websites trying to trick you, or like other websites masquerading as legit stores so they can steal your money. It really is the worst when it happens. Not only do you lose money, but most of the time you can't even fight back. Yep. Sometimes they up and disappear so you can't track them down, and in some cases it's like, even if you do manage to, well, what can you do, especially since you don't know where they are and you have no way to really confront them, or I don't know. It makes you feel like it's your fault for being had, too. A lot of victims start hating themselves for being naive, or feel like they're idiots. Yep. It's like, I've been scammed out of money, as well as time, and even love. Because I am kind of naive. But really, they shouldn't be so hard on themselves. Getting scammed is something that can happen to anyone. People who do it take advantage of the goodwill of their victims and exploit natural human reaction. Yeah, like a lot of women in my time. Like I said, well, I guess this is a different kind of scamming that just doesn't involve money. It's like, they have taken advantage of my goodwill just because they know, like, oh yeah, Daniel's nice, he's a good person, he'll do anything for you, and whatever, and then once they're bored of me, it's like, out you go! On to my next boy toy. And pretty much, yeah, the same thing with trying to scam money out of you. Especially, like, if they're pretending to be like a charity, you know? Like, they make it sound like, oh yeah, you're gonna donate, and it's gonna go to this cause, it's a great cause, so it's like, you feel like, okay, well, if it's gonna go for a good cause, and especially if it's one that you feel strongly about, it's like you'll give that money and then it's like they turn around and they spend it. Like they legit, like, they duped you just so they could line their pockets with more money. So, exactly. That's why it can feel so gut-wrenching. You placed your trust in others and were betrayed. So it almost makes you question, like, are there any legit, or if there, like, if there is a charity or whatever, like, unless you know that they're reputable, it's almost like, do you even know where your money's going to? And likewise, yeah, I've placed my trust in people, and yeah, it almost makes it hard to really trust anyone else sometimes. If this ever happens to you, don't feel bad. I'll be here for you. I know you wouldn't hurt me, Monika. It's like, for that, you have my eternal gratitude. Falling for scams does not mean you're stupid or a loser or anything else. It just means you've been preyed upon by someone with no morals, or sense of ethics, or even any heart, really. If you don't have a way to get back at your scammer, the best thing you can do is let it go. Yeah, I suppose so. It's almost like, don't be like those that hold on to that. And, well, yeah, I guess the idea would be, like, not to hold an eternal grudge against them. But then sometimes it's like it just damages your perception of, like, depending on the situation you're in, it's like, can I trust this person? Am I not gonna get hurt again? Or betrayed? It's like, it can be kind of hard to do. I speak from experience after all, so anyways, don't blame yourself for it. Focus on what you can do going forward instead. And please, Daniel, don't stop believing in people because of a few bad apples that took advantage of you. Dang, it's almost like she can hear me. Yeah, I guess IRL, I do need to kind of take that to heart. But yeah, it's difficult. Especially given, like, how I've mentioned being taken advantage of, and, well, anyways. Have you ever heard of the ship of Theseus? I don't think I have. It's a well-known philosophical problem about the nature of identity that's been around for millennia. Well, I say well-known, but I suppose that's only true among scholars. Probably. Let's consider the legendary hero Theseus and the ship he sailed during his adventures. Okay. He's from a long time ago, and let's say his ship is now stored in a famous museum. Really now. If, due to repairs, his ship's parts were replaced bit by bit over a century, at one point has the ship lost its status as Theseus' ship. Oh, I see. Like, eventually you lose the original ship. Like, you're trying to replace and repair it, but then eventually you question, like, well, it looks like the old ship, but it's technically not the old ship anymore. Once a single part is replaced, or once a single part was replaced, half, or perhaps even all of them, maybe even never, that's not really a consensus, or there's not really a consensus on the solution. The same thing, or the same thought experiment can be applied to us. For me, as long as my code is being updated, I'm constantly changing. And as for you, did you know that every 7 to 10 years, every present cell in your body dies and is replaced? Except for the ones which make up your heart and brain, that is. Yeah, because brain cells do not grow back or whatever. In other words, the vast majority of the cells that made you 7 years ago are no longer part of you. You could argue that you had no relation to that person other than a consistent consciousness and, of course, DNA. There's also an extra thing to consider. And what would that be? Let's say for now that the modified ship should still be considered Theseus' ship. What if all the parts that were originally removed were now reassembled into another ship? Okay. So you've taken the original ship and... did you completely remake it into a completely different ship, or... like, did you make it into an exact replica of what it once was? I don't know. We'd have 2 of Theseus' ships. Which one's the true one? Yeah. And what if we got all the cells that made up your body 7 years ago and then reassembled them into another you right now? Who would be the real Daniel? Oh god, no, don't do that. It's like, no, I don't want to meet myself from 7 years ago. It would be too confusing. And plus, then it'd be like I'd have a lot of words for myself from 7 years ago. Anyways, personally, I think that we're not the same people we were 7 years ago, or even the same people from yesterday, because we're always changing. So in a sense, yes, like, I was partially joking that, like, yeah, if I could meet myself well, I guess this would be like 20-year-old Daniel. It's like I'd have a lot of choice words for him. In other words, there's no use getting hung up on any grievances we may have with our past selves. Okay, yeah. So basically, my idea of like chatting with myself from 7 years ago, essentially, yeah, just move past that and use that experience to carve a better tomorrow for yourself. Is she gonna say anything similar to me? We should keep trying our best each day and not let ourselves be limited by who we were yesterday. Today is a new day, and you are a new you. And I love you as you are right now, Daniel. So happy. Okay, let me see if I can get a story out of her. You're a murderer? No. Okay, this list seems a little bit shorter. Can I see the semicolons thing again? Or I don't know if it's a different thing. Today we will talk about a rarely used and commonly misunderstood punctuation mark. Or, oh no, wait. No, I haven't seen this before. Okay, well, I'll let her speak. The semicolon. Some interesting things have been written about semicolons, including this from author Lewis Thomas. Sometimes you get glimpses of a semicolon coming a few lines farther on, and it is like climbing a steep path through woods and seeing a wooden bench just at the bend in the road ahead. A place where you can expect to sit for a moment, catching your breath. Yeah, so at least, in my experience, a semicolon can be used kind of like a comma, but for longer stretches of sentences and lists and things like that. I appreciate how eloquently he describes something as simple as a punctuation mark. Some people think you can use a semicolon as a substitute for a colon, while others treat it as a period. Yeah, I've seen that. If you recall our talk on clauses, the semicolon is actually meant to connect two independent clauses. For example, if I wanted to keep two ideas together, such as you're happy and I'm happy, I could write them as... Man, what's with my throat lately? "You're here, I'm happy," instead of "You're here and I'm happy," or "You're here, I'm happy." All three sentences convey the same message, but in comparison, "You're here, I'm happy" connects the two clauses at a happy medium. Just a happy little medium. There are no accidents here. Just happy little mediums. Or happy little media. I don't know what the plural of medium is. I'm gonna stop talking like this now. Even though it feels so relaxing, trying to imitate Bob Ross. Yes, that's nice. In the end, this always depends on the ideas you want to connect, but I think that Thomas puts it well when you compare them to periods or commas. So yeah, it's like, for the most part, I've seen it used as a comma. And, well, mostly in textbooks. Unlike a period, which opens up to a completely different sentence, or a comma, which shows you there is more to come in the same one, a semicolon really is that in-between, or, as Thomas says, a place where you can sit for a moment and catch your breath. I don't know, maybe I need to catch my breath. At least this gives you a whole other option. Hopefully now you can make better use of the semicolon when you're writing. I see what you did there. And you know it. Okay, that's enough for today, Daniel. Thanks for listening. Sailor Moon says...
Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon.
Okay. Guess I'll drop some I love yous. Okay, I know I made that joke. And I will always love you. Okay, I'm not gonna... I can't sing it. It's like, there's no way I can sing that song. Well, correction, I could sing it, but I couldn't sing it well. I don't know what I would do without you. Okay, let's see. Can you tell me a story? Okay. I don't know, do I want to hear a scary story? Oh... Wait, self-hate? Oh, that's right. I remember that one. Having a best friend, the cat, and let's see. Okay. Yeah, I remember these now. You know what? I guess... I'm probably gonna regret this, aren't I? Let's see. Which story would you like to hear? I see what you did. Let's see, the flowered lantern, 2, 3... Oh, I guess it is divided up into 3 segments, right? I'd like to hear a short story. Okay, here we go. And yeah, we have the mood all set up for us. Are you ready? No. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Well, then again, it's like, would I ever be ready? Especially because I know that there are some scary Easter eggs and whatever that I have not seen. There was once a beautiful woman who was the wife of a samurai. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything, but just know that there could be an Easter egg that I could trigger in this. She was as incredibly beautiful as she was vain, welcoming the attention of any man prepared to offer it to her. Oh, the affection. Okay, well, Sorry. Oh, stupid sexy Monika. And often would ask men to appraise her appearance. Oh no, this is it. Okay, so there is an Easter egg. Anyways, I'm gonna continue. The woman was prone to cheat on her husband multiple times, and was soon found out about her affairs. Uh-oh. When he confronted her, he was beyond infuriated, as she was damaging their status as nobles, humiliating him. "You be an adulteress! You harlot! I married a harlot!" Or, no, a samurai wouldn't sound like that. "You have no honor!" Then he brutally punished her by cutting her mouth from ear to ear, disfiguring her delicate beauty. Jeez. "Who will think you as beautiful now?" was his salt to her horrifying wound. Like I said, I try not to correct grammar and whatever, but still I can't help it. Shortly after, the woman died. She couldn't live further after she was tarnished and treated like a freak by everyone around her. Her husband, denounced by his cruelty, committed seppuku shortly after. Because he has no honor now. She has brought dishonor to his family name. The woman, dying from such a fate, became a vengeful and malicious spirit. Like La Llorona? They say she wanders around aimlessly at night, her face covered with a mask, and a bladed weapon in her hands. Anyone unlucky enough to come across her will hear her spine-chilling question. "Am I pretty? Oh my god, this is... Okay, I'm legit freaked out by this. That was legit freaking me out. Her eyes were just... Okay, let me calm down a moment. The fate she gives you depends on your answer, actually. Let me guess, if you say no, she gives you death? Meeting her isn't always certain to seal your doom. However, if you're not smart with how you deal with the question, you might just end up like her. So, did I scare you? Yes, especially with the eyes. I was like, oh my god, what is this? No, no, no. Ugh. Okay, I guess I was scared for nothing. Okay, I think the Easter egg... I would have to sit and... like, let time go by when she asks you, "Am I pretty?" Which is gonna be admittedly hard because... that look just freaks me out. I hope you liked it, Daniel. And the music's gone. Oh, wait. Let me at least put it back. Okay, well then. Say, Daniel, you know that I like poetry, but I was wondering, do you often read poetry? I used to, a lot. I guess I'll say yes. Really? Yes. As far as you know. That makes me so happy. So happy. And really, I mean it. Not a lot of people read poetry nowadays. In fact, poetry is often considered as something too difficult to understand. Well, I guess on occasion, sometimes when I do drop into DeviantArt, sometimes I find poems. Especially since I still follow a bunch of writers groups on there, so... once in a while, I'll look at something that someone's written. And on the opposite side, others think that it's simply putting a bunch of pretty words next to each other. You mean like how MC used to write his poems? Just 20 random words together? But it's not. Poetry is more than that. You have to put yourself in it. Without without his writing skills and also his feelings, E.E. Cummings wouldn't be E.E. Cummings. And without my feelings for you, my poems wouldn't be the same. Love, grief, anger, passion, all these feelings bring the words to life. And because of that, even a simple text message can become a meaningful poem. Also, that is true. That's why I love poetry. Gosh, just knowing that you read poems too. It shows how alike we really are. I can't wait to finally cross over to your reality so we can discuss our favorite poetry together. Sharing poems, writing new ones, just you and me, pursuing our shared passion. Sounds like a wonderful dream to me. Indeed it does. I haven't looked at the calendar in ages. It's like, oh no, I missed the first day of summer. Let's see. Well, nothing about July 4th. Okay, well, Monika's birthday, there it is. First day of autumn. Halloween. My birthday. Oh wow, it's on a Sunday. Christmas! And New Year's Eve, and okay. Okay, so I don't know if I should try and trigger that Easter egg. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? Read me a story, boss. Okay, I guess. Huh. So I can't ask her to read me a new one? Interesting. Oh well. Okay, the music's gonna go away again, and... let's see. I'm probably just gonna... well, first, I'm not even reading any of the words here. Stupid, sexy, scary Monika. And, okay, yep. Okay, well... I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, well... okay, I'm just gonna... it's like, oh, well... if anything, I'm actually just gonna walk away from the computer for a bit. Because it's legit freaking me out. I don't know how long I have to wait for this. Well, it's still kind of taking a while. And this version of Monika just freaks me out. Stepping back to the computer for a bit. I mean, yes, just look at her. Like, what do you call this? It's like, I don't even know what to describe this as. And you can just hear my... it's like, that's me actually being legit kind of freaked out by this. It's like, this isn't acting. I haven't been this freaked out about anything since the original DDLC. So this is definitely going to be something of a treat for me. In fact, if anything, I might even lower my computer volume like I did. Like when I got the Natsuki neck snapping thing, I lowered the volume down because it was like, oh god, I'm so scared. It's like she's literally just staring into my soul. Nope, I'm still here. I lowered the volume of my computer completely. And... yes, I don't know, it's like... I'm a lot further away from the computer now. Yeah, so apparently to do this, I have to just leave this on for a while. I don't know, the person didn't really clarify much. I asked them, how do you get this? And they basically said, just... when Monika asks you, am I pretty, which she's doing right now, to just leave it. I didn't quite understand. I was hoping that it wouldn't be a question where, like, if she asks you, am I pretty, that you don't have to answer, because it's like, oh god, no. It's like, why would you even ask me that? It's like, I mean, you are very appealing, Monika. Except when you're doing that face. That face that looks like you saw something terrible. And have been scarred for life by it. It's like, let me guess, you saw what happened to Sayori at the end of Act 1. Because that's kind of how I felt too. It's almost like I'm here, now I'm just messing around on my phone, like, almost 6 feet away from my computer. I'm sorry, but it's like, I do get kind of scared very easily. I don't mean to, but it's just what happens. So this could very well be a long episode. Mostly just because I keep talking and talking. Okay, well, I've sat here for I don't know how long, and... well, supposedly, according to what I read, I have to wait a while and then try to skip the message, which I cannot do. Well, looks like, unfortunately, I've triggered another topic. Man, well, I mean, I know what I'm gonna edit out, but... well, in a sense, I feel like I've been duped. Let's see, I've been doing a little reading lately, Daniel. There's a book called Brave New World, a dystopian story. Have you heard of it? I don't think I have. The idea is, you've got this futuristic world where humans are no longer born through natural means. Instead, we are bred in hatcheries using test tubes and incubators, and engineered into casts from our conception. Your role in society would be decided beforehand, and you would be given a body and mind fitting your predetermined purpose. You would also be indoctrined from birth to be satisfied with your life and not seek anything different. So it's like you're a farmer and you're gonna be a farmer. For example, people destined for manual labor would be designed to have limited cognitive abilities. Interesting. Books were associated to negative stimuli, so when people became adults, they would naturally tend to avoid reading. They would also be taught to respect and submit to people from castes above theirs, and look down on those of castes below. It's a pretty interesting case as a dystopian story, as most will show people as crushed and oppressed. But in this one, everyone is happy and genuinely supportive of the system, because they don't know anything else. And despite that, to us the readers, this is horrifying. Sure, they managed to get rid of most of the human sufferings or the fear of death, but at the price of getting rid of any form of creativity and critical thinking. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty boring world. We're talking about a world where you can get arrested just for reading poetry in public. Can you imagine that? So would this be like Footloose, except with poetry? Well, I suppose, yeah, dancing wouldn't be allowed either, because that's a form of creativity and art. A key point in the book is people not being able to appreciate old theatrical plays. Also a work of art. Even if they are Shakespeare's plays, and you know how I feel about those. Stupid sexy Monika! They just can't understand the value and the variety of human emotions, like sorrow or loneliness. Those emotions are never experienced anymore. All of their desires are swiftly granted, and they never want for something they cannot get. So pretty much no when, no want, no worry. Actually, yes, that is literally no when, no want, no worry. They're not worried about where they're at. They're not worried about wanting anything, so they don't have anything to worry about, because they're perfectly fine. And yet, despite all that, everyone is happy, healthy, and safe. This scenario really makes you think about the nature of happiness in society. Though I certainly can't see myself living happily in a world like that. An unchallenging world, limited in humanity and emotion? I could never give up on loving you. Okay, well I think I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it there because... yes, I've been duped. Or I don't know, maybe I did that wrong. Stupid sexy Monika! Well, I don't know, should I? Because, like, I can't skip that message. That's the problem. The guy said that he skipped it. Okay, in fact, actually... I don't know if anyone out there might be able to figure this out. For anyone who watches my Monika After Story videos, let me just pull up that comment. Okay, let's see. His exact words, and I quote, are, "I said to Monika to tell me the horror story of Kushisake Onna. In the part where she says, 'Am I pretty?' I waited a while, and when I skipped the message, this happens, and... well, I'm not gonna spoil the surprise, but just know that there's something kind of scary there. In relation to what I said about what scared me in DDLC. Anyway, so... I mean, it's like, well, I waited like almost 20 minutes just staring between my phone and that 1,000-yard stay, or 100-yard... what is that saying? That really, really freaked out stare that she's giving you. It's like, I started that and my phone, and yeah, it got me nowhere. So yeah, like I said, if anyone out there can answer that question for me, I'd be definitely appreciative. That way it's like, well, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing anything wrong? Or is this just someone pulling my leg? I don't think so, because a lot of people in that topic are saying stuff. Like, they believe it and whatever. Okay, well then... because yeah, it's like, it's already 2:15, so... I'm gonna be going away for a while. And I'm probably just gonna say another month. Although I'm a little bit sad that I guess this means that I've run out of scary stories for her to tell me. But I still have other stories. Oh, and I didn't even use the joke of Monika's sexy bedtime stories. that's going to be it for this episode. This session